Listen, I know what it feels like to go out and feel invisible to men.
So this lady saying how she is in her 40s and women in their 40s feel invisible.
What is the biggest confidence killer for women over 50? Men over 50. They never look at you anymore.
They don't see women their age because they aren't interested. It's really that simple.
I found myself feeling really bad, feeling invisible, feeling unwanted.
Women after a certain age, basically after 50, more so after 60, we become invisible.
What is going on about dating after 40? Holy shit.
Strong, independent women find themselves wondering at that age. It's a real struggle. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
I was just thinking, I'm probably going to be alone for the rest of my life. How many of you are alone and are okay with it? Are okay with it?
Society tends to praise aging men as distinguished, while women often feel invisible after 50. Gray hair on men, sexy silver fox. Gray hair on women, often labeled letting yourself go. It's not fair, but it's real, and it's time we rewrite the rules.
What is the biggest confidence killer for women over 50? Men over 50. They never look at you anymore. They don't even want to give you a side glance. I have seen so many times where I'm in a restaurant and I'm unusual. I've got a lot of hair. It's white. I usually dress pretty in step with fashion and dramatically. And I'll see a man glance at me, and then the minute they see me, just glance back at them and make eye contact, which I may not even want to, they look down. And they would rather trip over themselves than look at me on their way to their table. Yes, that is the truth. It's men that make women over 50 insecure.
Actually, it's not that men are making women over 50 feel insecure because they're invisible. It's that women are just now entering an experience men have been dealing with for decades. For years, men have had to come to terms with being overlooked, ignored, or seen as disposable if they weren't wealthy, powerful, or attractive enough. There's no sympathy when average men feel invisible. Society expects them to man up and keep going. But now, when women cross into an age bracket where youth and beauty no longer give them the automatic attention they once received, it's a shock. That validation they've been accustomed to, getting compliments, being approached, feeling desired, fades, and it creates a deep insecurity. Not because men are doing anything, but because the world isn't revolving around them anymore. And that's a harsh reality check for some. Men have been quietly living in that shadow for years. The difference is, men were never told their value was based on their looks. They were taught to build value.
Women over 50 feel notoriously invisible. I had that experience yesterday. 2 hours of shopping and not a single customer service person approached me. We get used to it, but it's interesting the power that an over 50 woman can have. I'm probably carrying a bigger wallet and I tend to be more outspoken. If you're feeling invisible in the shops or the job market, you have to make some noise. Their judgment doesn't define you.
Listen, I know what it feels like to go out and feel invisible to men. Like you are not getting looks, or maybe you're getting looks, but no one's ever approaching you. I know what it feels like to go out and men are checking out your friends, but you're completely overlooked. I could never figure out why this was happening to me, and I was at my wit's end because I wanted men to approach me, and I was always the one getting looks but never getting approached, and I felt so lonely and so hopeless about my ability to ever meet someone outside of the dating apps.
Being invisible as we get older. Let me tell you a short story of how I first experienced this. So I'm 57 now. This was probably when I was about 55. I was walking through a mall and all of a sudden I just got this weird sense that nobody saw me. I just was there and I was walking, looking at stores and looking at people and different things, but nobody was looking at me. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, oh, people used to look at me. I mean, men used to look at me. Even women would notice me. And all of a sudden I just felt like I wasn't relevant anymore. Like I didn't really matter and nobody noticed me. And it was the weirdest, emptiest feeling. I felt overwhelmed with a feeling of like sadness and depression. It occurred to me I wasn't as outwardly, I guess, vibrant and attractive as I used to be, if that's what I was, but that's what it felt like. I felt like I just kind of faded into the woodwork, like I wasn't that special and nothing was really, nobody was really noticing me. I was just kind of there, neutral, like faded, just blended into the scenery.
This is literally slamming into the wall. She said, "Men used to look at me. Now I feel irrelevant at 55. That's the wall. Not just aging, but the sudden shock of losing attention that once came effortlessly. For decades, she was validated simply for existing. Doors opened, eyes followed, and she didn't have to chase. It all came to her. But now, that spotlight is gone, and for the first time, she's experiencing life without it. The painful part isn't just that men have stopped looking. It's that her identity was wrapped in being looked at. Society never told her this attention would expire, and now that it has, she feels lost. But here's the truth. Men didn't make her feel irrelevant. Time did. Biology did. Reality did. This invisibility is something that's very common in older women. Not only do they struggle with dating, but it starts to seep into every area of their lives.
Most of the time I love being single. I am very comfortable being single, but tonight I hung out with friends and I had a great time, and then I was driving home and I started feeling this like wave of depression and anxiety, and I wasn't really sure what it was related to or where it was stemming from. And then I got home and I felt like just so sad and lonely. And I walked into my empty apartment and I thought, God, I wish that I had someone who could just hold me right now. Like, I wish that I had someone who could just take care of me, because I have to take care of myself every single day and it's fucking exhausting. And I just want someone to take care of me every now and then.
Concerning dating younger men, something's changing. These younger guys are way more forward. I think it's because a lot of the younger men these days, they have a lot going for them now. Like, they're financially set, they have businesses, they know what they want, and they want older women. And I know you're all saying, oh, they're not going to wife you up. Not that we're looking to get wifed up. I don't need that, but that's a lie. In the last couple of years, I've had 2 separate engagement rings from younger men. One of the men was 25, the other was a little older. Yeah, and you know what? I say the same thing. Like, you should find someone your age because, so you can have a family. These men look me straight in the eyes and tell me they'll hire a surrogate. Y'all are doing too much. I'm tired.
The only reason why older women are even considering dating younger men now is simply because the men their own age aren't looking their way anymore. Let's be honest, they didn't start preferring younger guys out of nowhere. For years, many of these same women used to say, older men are more mature, more stable, more serious. That was the narrative. Older men were the goal, until those same men stopped choosing them. Now suddenly it's all about younger men. Not because younger men bring more wisdom or stability, but because they're the only ones who might still glance their way. It's a pivot rooted in rejection, not preference. And what's ironic is, these younger men, while flattered by the attention, are rarely looking for anything serious with older women. They might entertain the situation casually, but marriage, a family, a future, that's usually not on the table. Most of these younger guys are in their prime, or just entering it. They have time, options, and energy. They're not trying to sign up for a serious, long-term relationship with someone who's already past her childbearing years.
I've got a big question for my over 50 club. Since you've turned 50 or are over 50, do you feel like you're not acknowledged as much, that you are invisible of sorts at work, at home, in your community? I feel like when I was younger, I could speak and I was heard. It just seems like I'm over here talking and nobody's listening. So over 50 community, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I'm going crazy here.
Okay, so here it goes. I'm going to vent on the dating scene. So when I first got single in my 40s, I was like, if someone came at me that had never been married before, I thought that was a super red flag. Now I'm just like, are they just super driven now at 50, they want to like date and settle down? What is with the men out there that have never been married, never like engaged, none of that, and then just say their career was more important? Was their career more important, or were they players? Was their career more important, or are they mama's voice? I just don't know. Like, I'm still so like, never married still draws a red flag for me. I'm just going to say it. I mean, you're looking at somebody that's been divorced for 12 years. That should probably be a red flag to you about me. So, I mean, I'm very self-aware, but I'm going to need some thoughts on this.
The men in their 50s who've never been married honestly made a great decision, especially if they're in the West. It's likely those men never saw real value in marriage, or maybe they just never found a woman worth marrying. And let's be clear, men, in general, aren't in a rush to get married in the first place. They don't feel the pressure of a ticking biological clock. They don't need validation through a wedding ring. And many of them have watched their friends and brothers lose everything in divorce. Half their assets, years of peace, access to their own kids, and emotional well-being. Why would they willingly walk into a system that's shown them time and time again that the risk far outweighs the reward? A man in his 50s who's financially stable, mentally sharp, and still has his freedom, that's not a failure. That's success. That's a man who played the long game.
What is going on about dating after 40? Holy shit. Every so many months, I will try dating apps. I am convinced at this point that my soulmate was swallowed. Okay? Like, I accept that. But just finding a good companion, somebody that allows, especially women who have been independent and healed, that have to be living in their masculine, to actually find a man who is safe, that allows them to be in their feminine energy, is just, why is this like the hidden treasure? This is like, where's Waldo? Okay. So we're all looking for Waldo in these dating apps. A man that makes us feel safe, that allows us to be in our freaking feminine energy and not have to sit here and compete that they're claiming that it's simp behavior to court a woman. After the age of 40, all of a sudden we just don't have value, which is really interesting, or treated as such, or maybe we're just aware now what kind of value these people are bringing within 24 hours. I'm just going to preach it. I'm going to preach it right now. Within 24 hours, most conversations don't make it past me because I can see red flags a mile away, which is curse and a blessing, I guess. Because the last thing that I don't want is anyone to waste my time or energy. I really honestly don't know where you guys are coming from to think that it's okay, that you shouldn't be courting women. Now, there's a difference between a woman who is just using you to get like, I don't know, like a dinner or something. But if you're having a conversation with somebody and they're actually somebody that you're interested in intellectually, physically, it's not simp behavior by courting her. And honestly, you should make a good first impression. Let's not forget the ones that are the most thirsty on social media and the internet are fake accounts, or accounts that you don't have photos, videos of yourself. It's an anonymous account. If you can't even show your face to the public, do not try hitting on a woman. She's not going to like you based on just your comment. If you actually are interested in getting out there in the real world, fellas, make yourself known physically, because you're physically attracted to her. She needs to be physically attracted to you. Why is everything so one-sided? Oh, and I love this one. Well, we're grown. We could do what we gotta do. Sweetie, I have protected my vessel for quite some time. You do not get the vessel without getting the mind, okay? If the mind don't feel safe, the body ain't gonna feel safe. I would like to thank hormones for allowing that control. Well, you know what I'm saying.
I understand that some women over the age of 40 want to date, but this whole put me in my femininity stuff is nonsense. A lot of these women say they're looking for a man to bring out the feminine in them, but truthfully, they never had it to begin with. And let's be real, if a woman over 40 is still saying things like that, she's not feminine, she's just jaded. Femininity isn't something you turn on like a light switch when a certain man shows up. It's a core part of your character, how you move through the world. If you're walking around hardened, combative, defensive, and emotionally closed off, that's not because no man activated you. It's because that's who you chose to become. And after 40+ years, that's not a phase. It's a personality. The truth is, a lot of these women didn't prioritize being soft, nurturing, cooperative, or peaceful when it mattered. In their prime, they didn't want to be feminine. They wanted to compete with men, dominate in the workplace, and be seen as strong, independent, and untouchable.
So women chose the bear, and now men are choosing the brick wall. And I want to talk about this because the entire psychology of it is just fascinating to me. We were asking women, would you rather be left alone in the woods with a man or a bear? And most of the women were responding with bear. Now the men have clapped back with a question of their own, and it's phrased like this, like, men, would you rather share your emotions or your feelings with a woman or with a brick wall? I've also seen it phrased as with the back of a semi-truck. While I do agree that it's apples and oranges, I don't agree that we should be invalidating these men. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and I think that it is so important that we recognize when a man has the strength and the vulnerable capacity to be able to seek help to their partner or seeking out therapy. When we as women then use that against a man, it emasculates them. Emotional abuse is no better than physical or sexual abuse in my book. Now, obviously in a dream world, we would have a world where men would choose the women and women would choose the men, but we are humans and we are capable of really shitty things. I guess my hope for this online social experiment, if you will, is that we all just recognize that we each have our own individual fears from the opposite sex and to just treat each other with a little bit more kindness.
It's quite simple, really. While women choose the bear, the men choose the brick wall. Men are choosing to share their emotions with the brick wall instead of women because, at this point, the wall feels safer. The wall may not respond, but it doesn't mock them, belittle them, or weaponize their vulnerability later. It doesn't twist their pain into a joke. It doesn't roll its eyes or say, "Man up." It just sits there. And for a lot of men, that silence is more comforting than a woman who doesn't actually listen. See, women often say they want an emotionally open man, but when a man actually opens up, he's often met with discomfort, impatience, or even ridicule. That kind of response teaches men one thing: never do that again.